Hey, let's get our recaps out here. So the legend shouldn't be too long because it was about a half session by normal standards, and even then, most of the stuff was just kind of the social side of things. I think I shifted forward 6 months, so I'm like 4 years and 6 months into my 5 year shift, so I'm about caught up. But man, I feel like I have still so much stuff to do. So we'll see how this is. So this shift thing is the meeting with Mitsukaru has finally been arranged, and to do this, I need to go to Oyoko, who is Makoto's daughter. She's my cousin, but she's in her like mid 60s, so she's pretty old. But like, she looks like she's in her 30s because she has like that Saiyan Asian thing going on to her, where it's like they have that once you hit like late teens, early 20s, like they just stay looking similar for a much longer period of time until they get much older. But it's been arranged. Opal is out on terraforming, so it's me, Saya, and Rohan, and we go out to her place. The Kyrax system's where she's located, or no, Kyrax the planet, and Istia is the system. And there's a prison world where Mitsukaru is located. It's like for the dangerous criminals and stuff like that. When we get there, we're kind of waiting around for Mitsukaru's meeting, and Rohan and I do like a training, like a little spar, just because that's what we do. They're saying start doing push-ups, same kind of thing. And man, it's one of those ones like these people that I brought up are so scary to fight. Like now Rohan's thing has been magical or mystical in nature, that he is as strong as he is, but like the DM explains to me, because like I said, he like hits and has like the durability of a three, but he doesn't have the speed of a three. But as I find out during this spar, is he's getting closer to it. Uh, but my little apprentice does the move where he what is it? He takes like the sprinter stance, and the next thing you know, he's like right on top of me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, DM, like this is terrible. Like like so my speed was the thing that I had, and he's like bridging that gap. Now, granted, I wasn't like Harlequined up or anything like that, but it's like it's still scary because he's little Rohan, who was literally an uninitiated Saiyan, like a not even like a or B class, which I think Sai is like now an A class because she went through her next release, and she has like the energy projection of that of close to like a, oh, I don't gonna say it's quite like a Super Saiyan, but it's advanced. And like her senses, now it's energy projection. Usually, excuse me, it's her senses that are everything, which we come to find out later. But anyway, Rohan and I are getting it in. He he catches me like more times than I would like him to be able to catch me. Like not like caught up into, but like just like even like landing blows. Like if I'm not fighting with my armor on, which gives me this massive bonus to my character, like I think he would outright kill me. Especially like with a shot to the head like that. Like he's dishing out like that his strikes hit with. And it's like it's scary because it's just like, man, like this is your apprentice and everything like that, and he's already like surpassed you when it comes to like brawling ability, and he's huge, and he's strong, and now he's getting fast too, and it's like, oh my gosh, like in ways he's certainly surpassed me. Now he has nowhere near my versatility or anything like that, but like even with the armor on, like the you feel the hits, and like I think it was like one of the ones like I landed like some combo on him, and he's like I almost felt that, and I was like, right on, dude. But I did finally get him to say that he admit that he felt that with another little, not trick, but like a little setup that I did where I like self charged my matrix so that I could like have the powerful hit, and then like because it's like oh, anyway, like I'd self charged it, and I get in close with him and grapple him and bang, headbutt the mess out of him, and it's just like it sends him reeling. So it's like I still hit hard, like I said, like I'm still a two that hits that can like hit like 3 level things and like make them stagger. Like I bloodied his nose and all this other stuff, but he was okay. He's a Saiyan. He's like a warrior now. Um, but like I tried to like do like a German suplex on him, and like I got like I pulled off the maneuver, but then like when I tried to get him off his feet, he's just too strong to be able to do it. And I was like, yeah, it was optimistic DM, but I wanted to try it. I did was another cool move I did on him was like um, I think it was like off of like one of the combos, like I staggered him a little bit, but or I set him up in the air. And I did like the go up and grab him and then like helicopter swing him down and toss him, but like even then he was like about to grab my head as I tossed him. Like he's quick and he's strong, so it's like it wasn't even clean or anything like that. But it was like just trying to keep him off his balance. And like I said, like whenever it came out of it, I did come out on top. But like I said, we had like our little post thing, and he was asking how he did, and I was like, man, like that speed burst thing that he did was insane. Because like I'm not used to having opponents just like appear up in front of me. That's not true. I am, but like I'm not used to having my like underlings appear up in front of me. uh, and well, I guess the other thing is usually like I would, if I was fighting like a 3 level opponent like that, like I would Harlequin out because you need everything you can to like fight up a level like that. Even though Rohan's not a technical 3, it's just he has properties of a 3, and now that his speed is closing in on, maybe not his speed isn't even maybe closing in on a 3. It's like just surpassing mine at this point, or at least like my yeah. The whatever that burst was, that was crazy. Like that he pulled that out, I was like, oh my gosh, like you're kind of vicious now, because like now, like if you're fighting a 2, like I'm not even sweating it. Like I'm like, yeah, you're gonna tear this guy apart, because like yeah, he's good to go. Um, but yeah, we talked about it a little bit and said, he is asking me about like the predictability versus unpredictability thing, and I was like, that's kind of like part of like the combat thing of you have to you have to play to your strengths, but then you also have to know your opponent, and you have to anticipate your opponent, uh, but also you harness your own strengths in your techniques, but then you also have to anticipate like the intelligence or the your opponent's like willingness to throw like do feints and stuff like that. And I was like, it's very much like there's like this like mental chess game that occurs there, and it's like part of it is just going to be a guess, like, oh, like I think he's going to go left, and he ends up going right, but it's like he always feints right, so I think he's going to mix it up and go left, and you're like, yeah, you guessed wrong, but he still went right, kind of thing. But like that's I kind of like worked that out with him, and I think it was it was the guy that came to get us. What's his name? Gorman. He's huge. He's like 7'6", I think like 700 pounds, like of just like bulk and muscle. He's a death magic user. But yeah, he came to get us. He's like Ayoko's like number 2, I think. Um, and he's like kind of like chuckling, listening along at my like thing, like like it was a good way to put it, kind of thing. Like the way I guess like the way I put like the whole like warrior balance thing was, well, it's someone who's a level above me. It was like, oh yeah, that was well said. I was like, right on. And I told him like I was like I found a death magic user recently. It was like a second Azure was telling me like the last thing you want to do is ever get close to one. And he's like, oh, he's like, you have to tell me that. So fast forward, we get to the table. It's a Yoko, me, Gorman, and then Rohan and Saya. And like, well, there's like some pleasantries at the start and everything like that. But I sit there and tell them the story about getting jumped by like the handful of 2. I think there was like 7 of them or something like that, and how I like basically detonate. Get up close to the death magic user after he like did the thing, and the Gorman was explaining to me like there's like these supernatural like fear effects that come with death magic that are relatively simple but like very very difficult to overcome, and the point, and even like the thing of like overcoming them can be detrimental to you, like just trying to like force through them usually comes with like a worse effect. And I was like, that's kind of cool because I actually rolled with it. It's like whenever I basically moved myself away from him as long as the effect persisted. He said that I was like, it actually worked out pretty well in your favor then, like because you didn't do like the resist thing. Because like maybe it's one of those ones where like if you resist it, like something like damages internally to you, like your psyche, your senses, who knows. But I kind of retell that story. Um, Gorman and Oyoko asked me why I want to see Mitsukaro, and I basically explained to her like, listen, like, did you ever have someone so like pegged so wrong that it like shakes your perception of your ability to like gauge and read people? And I kind of like harkened back to the idea of the being able to read people, read your opponents is important in fighting. And I was like, this is one of those moments because I can't grasp why she did what she did to the extent that she did and all that stuff. So I was like, if I can get it like from the horse's mouth, then like maybe that'll help me moving forward. And I was like, that's kind of it. And she's like, well, that's gonna be like kind of. And I went through, it was like a no long-winded thing, but it was definitely like thing. She was like, well, I was actually just looking for like the reason for your visit, but I was like, well, you can put down vengeance if you want. So, uh, but she also wanted to know for herself, and she's like, that's very interesting. Like a very like she did not expect me to go in that direction. But Mitsukaru also requested to talk to me, and apparently, all the time that she's been here, she has kept pretty tight-lipped about everything that's happened and everything like that. So they want to use this as an opportunity to get some information out of her. Something might have changed, something might have happened. They said like sometimes limited amounts of information can go in and out of that prison, so maybe something got to her that she just changed her mind. Like someone from the outside, like sometimes like they said there's like relationship between guards and everything like that. Because I think this is like kind of a lifer type facility where people usually don't come and go. Um, but all that to say is like they Gorman wants to like record the conversation, and Mitsukaru is like, she's like that basically runs the risk of her like clamming up and we get nothing out of her. So like better to get what we can than get nothing at all, because it seems like based on who Mitsukaru is and like her cleverness and like her potential connections, because of she was someone pretty significant within our system, my system, I should say, that like it seems possible she'd be able to pull something like that off. So they kind of have like this little tiff about who about what they're gonna do, and I kind of like agree with both sides. Where I'm like Gorman, like listen, I understand. Like for me, I would kind of want to record it because now I know that there's something more to it. Like I just made the request because I have a personal agenda here, but like the fact that she wants to talk to me about something and that she could be talking in some kind of code or something that seems very innocuous could have a deeper meaning to the right person, and unless I'm be able to like recite it verbatim, then it could be lost, because I might not be looking for that like a very subtle hint or something like that. But I was like, Yoko's got a point. Like like I guess we take what we get with this, and don't risk like having it blow up in our face, which is probably the better option. Um, but he's been like sizing up Rohan the entire time, and like they call him the Beast, and it's like, oh my gosh, like Rohan's like got a cool nickname now. There's Form Up Girl, she's still kind of a nut, but Rohan's the Beast, uh, and Rohan's got like this. Rohan's getting the Saiyan pride thing going on. Like he's got the like, all right, let's not. I'm a warrior man. Like I don't need to be like the little mousy dude anymore. But like uh, Gorman starts like taking out his frustration on like trying to probe Rohan to I guess get like a reaction out of him, or like give him a reason, because it's like, yeah, they're technically probably around. I mean, like Gorman's 100% like gonna murder Rohan like 10 times out of 10, but like Gorman or Rohan might be closer in like power to Gorman than I am. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, man, like, listen, let's relax. And Rohan was, he seemed like he was okay with it. Like, yeah, he kind of stood his ground, but I was like, oh man, like, don't let this turn into a thing. Uh, and then I think it was like we finished with the dinner, and then I was shifted to get ready to meet up with her, and then that's where I was temporarily paused. So that was my session. Uh, and Rohan and I got it in, and he's freaking scary now. Oh, there was one thing I missed. Saya was able to sense this like black shadowy guy in the corner of the room, which is tied to Gorman somehow, but I can't see it, and Rohan obviously can't see it. He has no senses, but I'm still a two, and I couldn't sense it at all. So like Saya has those everything cosmic senses that Cameron did to her, and everyone's like looking at her like, oh, the little like the not even Super Saiyan in the side of the room can like see this like high level technique that Gorman's got, and he's like kind of one very interested, but two very keen on like that she knows about it, like is a kind of like chink in his armor that he did not like. So that just kind of put things on edge even more. But yeah, that was the only thing I missed.